Universities have tremendous opportunity for benefit from AI. AI can support research, improve teaching, simplifies administration work, assist students, and even help researchers prepare grant proposal. However, AI should complement, not replace, critical thinking, creativity, and academic integrity. Human expertise remain essential. Researcher can use AI throughout the research process. AI can assist with literature review, data analysis, coding, visualizations, and improve academic writing. It can also help prepare response to reviewer. Nevertheless, researchers mindfully responsibly for, responsible for the originality, accuracy, and ethical equality for their work. Businesses are using AI to improve marketing, optimize supply chains, forecast demand, reduce fraud, and better understanding customer behavior. AI enable faster decision based on data rather than intuition alone. Organizations that effectively combine human expertise with AI will gain significant competitive advantages. Many global companies have successfully adopted AI. Amazon improved customer recommendations, Netflix personalized entertainment, Microsoft integrated AI into productivity tools, NVIDIA power AI infrastructure, Tesla advanced automation driving. This example demonstrates that AI is creating measurable business value across industry. While AI offers numerous opportunity, it also introduces important responsibilities. We must address issues such as privacy, fairness, transparency, cybersecurity, and bias. Responsible AI is not just about technology, it is about building trust. Successful AI adoptions require more than technology. Organizations need governance framework. Every organization starts somewhere, but the goal is continuous improvement. Look ahead, AI will continue to evolve. We will see more AI agent, digital twin, autonomous system, and closer collaboration between human and intelligence machines. The future is not about human versus AI. It is about human working together with AI. Let me conclude with three important messages. First, futures belong to organizations and individuals who are willing to learn, adapt, and innovate. AI is not just changes technology. It is changes the way we create value for society. Thank you.
Pak Dr. Tri. Ladies and gentlemen, from this presentation, I have drawn the following conclusion. The conclusion is artificial intelligence actually has become a key driver of sustainability. Key driver of sustainable economic growth by enhancing productivity and also improving decision making and maybe fostering innovation across industry. However, maximizing its benefit requires responsible implementation, effective governance, and continuous human adaptation. Organization that successfully integrated AI while maintaining like ethical principle and also human oversight will be better positioned to achieve long-term competitiveness and also sustainable development. This is the conclusion from presentation Dr. Tri. Thank you, Dr. Tri. Thank you very much for your insightful and inspiring presentation. And also, we truly appreciate your valuable contribution. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, now our second speaker, our next distinguished speaker comes from Uzbekistan. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Asisova Nilufar Ikrom Hisi, motivated and academically trained economist with strong analytical, research, and communication skill. She was graduate of Westminster International University in Tashkent with specialization in economics, finance, and applied economics, and currently working as a lecturer and actively engaged in academic and education activity. She was graduate from Westminster International University Tashkent and bachelor degree from Westminster International University in Tashkent in 2023. So the professional experience lecturer and also student. Now we are honored to have you with us today, and we look forward to learning from your presentation. Similar with the first speaker, she will deliver the presentation approximately 15 minutes. Ms. Asisova, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for invitation. Good morning, everyone, dear organizers, professors, and respected participants. First of all, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all the organizers and professors for arranging this seminar, which provides an excellent opportunity to share knowledge, experience, and skills. We are also delighted to be here with all the participants to discuss today's important and timely topic, working together to address global challenges, exchanging ideas, and collaborating toward common solutions is truly one of our greatest achievements. So I hope today's discussions will inspire new ideas, strengthen our cooperation, and contribute to future innovation and progress. Can I see my slides here, please?
Is it possible open at your side, Miss Asofa?
Oh. If you could.
Pak Putra, can you help Miss Asofa to open presentation?
Yes, please. It would be great.
Okay, Pak Putra.
Are you here? I have some technical issues here, I think. Oh,
Still problem with your
yes.
presentation?
My presentation is ready and I have sent to the...
Okay. Let me try contact Pak Putra. Ocha, can you help Miss Asofa? Halo, panitia.
Please kindly wait ya.
Yeah. Nanti time untuk Miss Asisofa 15 menit
Yes.
dimulai ketika presentasi ya.
Maybe I can start without slides?
Yes, can.
Okay. So my chosen topic is artificial intelligence and the future of global business, which have already ideas about this topic. Why the topic is crucial? We have several reasons for it. Artificial intelligence is one of the most transformative technologies shaping the future of business. AI is changing how companies operate, make decisions, serve customers, of course, and compete in global markets. At the same time, it creates both opportunities and challenges, particularly in employment, productivity, and ethical decision making. Understanding this change is essential for business, policymakers, and future professionals. Therefore, this topic is highly relevant, timely, and significant for sustainable economic development, or we can say economic growth. Next part. We can talk about artificial intelligence impact more. For example, we can talk about opportunities and challenges, of course. First of all, which type of opportunities we have? We have productivity, employment, and business strategies. Each section has its own challenges, of course. We cannot say that artificial intelligence replaces the human being, but anyway, it's very important for our life, our modern life, we can say. AI dependent on human being, we say. There are 6 patterns. The first one is learning from data. AI improves its performance by analyzing large amount of data. The second one, it can solve problems by analyzing information, identifies patterns, and suggests solutions to complex problems. If you will let me to move my slides, it would be better for me.
Next slide.
Yes, this one.
Okay.
No. So decision making. AI provides recommendations to help people make faster and more informed suggestions. Language understanding skills, we have also, we can use AI by it can able to help people to communicate with each other, of course. Analyzing the situations, of course, we have evaluates this part and the situation to provide useful insights. The next one is pattern recognition. AI identifies trends, relationships, and recurring patterns in large amount of data. How AI can rise the business sector, how AI can improve the economic development. The future of business is expected to be characterized by collaboration between human intelligence and the next is artificial intelligence, where AI enhances human capabilities rather than replacing them. Why artificial intelligence matters today? Why it's crucial? The first reason is a rapid growth of big data and cloud computing. AI makes smarter predictions, which could be useful for human being. The next reason is increasing business competition, which is companies use AI to gain a competitive advantage. The third one is advance in machine learning and generative artificial intelligence. Today, artificial intelligence is transforming industries by using data, improving business performance, and enabling innovative solutions through machine learning and generative artificial intelligence, of course. So a little bit here, statistics we can provide. Artificial intelligence is expected to contribute trillions of dollars to global economy by 2030. More than 75% of organizations are exploring or implementing AI solutions. AI adoption is growing across manufacturing, finance, healthcare, education, and related other economic sectors. So, artificial intelligence and productivity growth, this section is crucial for economists, for us, and all the human being by two sides. Automation of repetitive tasks, faster decision making. The second one is reduced operational cost, enhanced customer service. So, artificial intelligence chatbots handling customer inquiries 24 hours a day. Customer support we can use. It can reduce customer service costs, of course. The next one is predictive maintenance in manufacturing. How? It improves production efficiency and reduces downtime and repair costs. It's useful for firms and of course it's useful for government. Automated financial analysis. The best is real-time financial data processing, reduced analysis costs, and human errors. Impact on global market. How artificial intelligence impact on global market? AI is transforming global trade by making supply chains more efficient. International trend demand forecasting, we have optimized logistic costs, improved inventory management. AI is a new factor of production nowadays. Traditionally, economic growth depends on labor, capital, and technology, right? These three main characteristics in economics generated by AI, helping by AI. That's why artificial intelligence is covering all these three points. But we never should forget that nothing can truly replace human intelligence and human emotions. Artificial intelligence and labor market, we can talk about positive effects, creation of new occupations. AI increases the creation of new careers such as AI engineers, data scientists, prompt engineers, then increased worker productivity. It improves efficiency, reduces errors, and repetitive tasks. So high growth of technology-related industries. It accelerates innovation in healthcare, finance, manufacturing, education, and logistics. Of course, we a little bit can talk about negative effects which AI creates. It's automation of routine jobs and structural unemployment in some sectors and skills mismatch. That's why we need human being intelligence, human emotions, right? So key economic findings by using artificial intelligence is productivity, increases efficiency and output, the employment, which is creates new jobs while automating some existing jobs. Then economic growth contributes to GDP growth, and trade, which improves supply chains and logistics. Of course, we can count investment and competitiveness also here, attracts domestic and foreign investment, and strengthens from firms' market position. So we can say that artificial intelligence is covering all economic sectors, which helps to produce more and improve GDP level also. Structural unemployment rate also somehow decreases. AI changes the structure of the labor market. Some occupations disappear here while new ones emerge. So we can see artificial intelligence in every day while we study, we live, we take new ideas. That's why it helps to improve, it encourages to improve the quality of our life. So here is some problem. We have covered already positive and negative effects here. To conclude, I can say that although artificial intelligence creates significant economic opportunities, it also presents serious labor market challenges. So governments, educational institutions, and business must invest in reskilling, lifelong learning, and social protection to ensure that benefits of AI are shared broadly and that workers can successfully adapt the changing world of work. Thank you for your attention. If you have some questions regarding the topic, you can feel free to ask.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, based on this presentation, I have come the following conclusion.
Before we get the main point, I would like to briefly refresh my understand of the global economic situation. As we know, there's a external shock that create an uncertainty for Southeast Asia and push the demand stronger economic resilience. The first is the escalating Middle East tension that increase energy prices, inflation, supply chain disruption, and currency volatility. They create a significant challenge for Southeast Asia economic growth. And also US-China rivalry, as we know that they faced to the Southeast Asia country in balancing economic partnership, maintaining investment confidence, and protecting export competitiveness. And next, from the data, we see that the microeconomic condition will weaken from the end of 2025 to the beginning of 2026. We see that almost all countries are not in a good condition, and most countries will experience a decline or no significant change. What about in Indonesia? I will share a little bit about the Indonesia next. Indonesia has experienced decline in export starting from 2022 to 2023. Yeah. Although they have increased in some years, but this is not yet very good. And from this data, we can see that the private consumption is more stable. Why the private consumption is stable? The next is we see that the GDP grew 5.6% in the first quarter 2026. This is the fastest growth in more than 3 years. And the foreign exchange reserve remained relatively strong at around 152 billion. And household consumption remained the backbone of growth. That's the point. Why the private consumption is more stable. The household consumption around 54%. And government spending increased significantly and support the economic activity. Okay, we move to the main problem. SME are the backbone of the Indonesia economy. 50% SME contribute to the GDP. And from this condition, 97 to 98% is a business and this presentation. And this condition show that the SME employ approximately 97% of the national workforce. Next. But the most entrepreneurs are still at the beginner stage. That's the problem. Yeah, 91% beginner entrepreneur, 56 million micro entrepreneur, and 5.30 million established. They still have help to increase and to build their business. The implication is Indonesia doesn't only need more entrepreneur, it still need the entrepreneur, but need structure support that help micro and beginner entrepreneur become established, formal, resilient, and sustainable entrepreneur. And the data say that next, SME survival remain a critical challenge. The data say that around 55% of SME close with the first 2 years, while over 80% fall before reaching their third year. And approximately 45% fall within 5 years, and 65% do not survive beyond 10th year. They also have the financial management problem, poor financial management, leading costs with the cash flow problem. They contribute the majority of the business closure. Yeah. Digital transformation barrier is also as influence to the problem. And next, from the data, I see that many graduates still prefer corporate career or traditional job. Yeah, this is 50% they still working in the traditional job, and only 30% as an entrepreneur, and still continue the academician path 20%. Why is this happening? Next. The graduates still perceive that traditional job have stable income, career security, and the entrepreneur high perceived risk. And as an entrepreneur, they have limited access and capital capability. After they graduate, loss of mentor and academic network, social and family expectation related with their business, and also loss of collaborating ecosystem. Next, we see this is the framework of influential factor in student startup success. They also have the physical infrastructure, the academic institution membership support. Yeah, they need the support for the university, and they need networking to the entrepreneur and other business. Yeah, this is the influence factor that we have to know and we have to understand about this and preparing to support this condition. And next, this is business ecosystem actor. Entrepreneurship doesn't grow only from the individual entrepreneur. It is shaped by the core business actor, like the distributor, supplier. They also influence the condition of the success of the business. And the broader business ecosystem, such investor, government agency, labor union, maybe stakeholder, and trade association also influence this condition. And what happened with the entrepreneurship ecosystem for the student? Next, as a student, university provide comprehensive support. Next, please. University connects student with the alumni and the entrepreneur while engaging external actor. Yeah, they're providing mentorship to build their skill or the ability to build the business, and alumni and entrepreneur support learning, mentoring, networking, and also many information related with their business. Yeah. After they graduate, they almost lost of that thing. The bond among alumni, entrepreneur, and the university need to remain active beyond the graduation. That's the job for the academician institution. They have to continue support for the entrepreneur or for the alumni that have business. Sustainable entrepreneur is needed by them. Ecosystem becomes stronger when alumni entrepreneur are not disconnect from campus and resources. What can we do? As academic, we have power to foster the generation to be a good entrepreneur, build strong bond industry, alumni network, facilitate access to funding, support post-graduation entrepreneurial development, shift from entrepreneurship education to entrepreneurship ecosystem. And the next again, this is the idea of the entrepreneurship ecosystem. Entrepreneurship development is no longer treated as a course only, but as a living ecosystem. This is lifelong partnership. The university become the anchor that connect alumni, entrepreneur, investor, and so on. And this is the ecosystem keep supporting venture as they grow beyond the student stage. Next, to solve this problem, not just university, but the government have to give any kind of the activity to solve this problem. Firstly, they have to encourage early entrepreneurship, the build capability, build innovation, creativity, and business capability. They create any kind of program to get this capability and also produce more young entrepreneur and job creator. And the next, this is, you can see that many program that initiated by the government. Student entrepreneurship program, like student entrepreneurship development program, P2MW. I'm sure that anyone can know about this program. Student Creativity Week in Entrepreneur, PKMK, Indonesia Student Startup Acceleration Program, and also many entrepreneurship program to increase not just the number or the quantity of the entrepreneur, but also the quality of the entrepreneur as well. Okay, and government also have the program to support the entrepreneur. And next, relate with the tax. Okay, that's a final income tax facility. Also, the individual taxpayer with annual revenue up to 500 million remain exempt from income tax. That's protect the young entrepreneur to keep the sustain. SME with annual turnover up to 4.8 billion rupiah can continue to benefit from the simplified tax regime. And the next, university as ecosystem or cash trader. The connector and the bridge the student, alumni, industry partner, and government bodies into cohesive entrepreneurial network. As facilitator, they provide a comprehensive mentorship, resource training, mentorship program, access to the funding, and incubator. They create the incubator business, nurture early stage venture with structure, support, validation, and scale up pathway. The lifelong partner. This is very important. Maintain alumni engagement, provide ongoing support well beyond graduation. University and alumni. University agenda, we can see that the integrated entrepreneurship into the curriculum, strengthen industry partnership, extend post-graduation entrepreneurial support, business incubator participant. And as alumni, previously, when they as a student, they as a participant in the mentorship, and right now the alumni also can be a mentor in incubator mentorship. They can share their experience with that business, expand access to microfinancing scheme, and also develop alumni investor network. Okay, thank you. This is my presentation. I hope my presentation is useful. Next, the goal is not merely to educate students, however, to empower them to create value. Thank you, Pak Moderator. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Ibu Dr. Din. I have an additional, Dr. Din, I think the university now has played a strategic role in transforming students into sustainable entrepreneurs by fostering an entrepreneurial mindset, strengthening our industry also, and alumni network, and then providing continuous access to monitoring, funding, and a business ecosystem. In the face of global economic, in my opinion, in the face of global economic uncertainty, a comprehensive entrepreneurship ecosystem rather than entrepreneurship education alone, Udin, and is essential to improve startup resilience and also support long-term business growth and create lasting economic value for society. Thank you very much, Dr. Dean. Nice presentation and very inspiring. We greatly appreciate your excellent presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, now the last speaker, Mr. Joy Torresilas from University of Coventry, UK. Ladies and gentlemen, Joy Torresilas is a lecturer in business and management at Coventry University, London, where he teaches international business strategy, leadership, and sustainability. His areas of expertise include geopolitical analysis, international relations, and sustainable development, international political economy, and global business strategy, with a particular emphasis on Africa, Middle East, and the global South. He examines the relationship between geopolitical economic security, international trade, and global governance, exploring their implication for sustainable development, regional sustainability, and also region stability and business decision making. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Joy Torresilas, this time the
Hello,
floor
everyone.
is yours.
First of all, I wanted to send a heartfelt thank you to the organization, to Hadija Universitas, for having me and for creating this space that hopefully allow us to create a place where we can all share and where we can find synergies for cooperation and for future development. On this very interesting topic that it's very relevant to today's state of affairs in the international sphere, whether it comes to economic growth, to political stability, to business direction. I think it's very important to stop for a second and to actually understand that we are going through a process of change, and that maybe we have forgotten how much change we have already gone through in previous decades, because we had a period of relative peace or relative stability in the 90s, in the 2000s, in the 2010s. But all of that is changing, and we need to understand that change. Please, next slide. The rules that created the global prosperity between 1990 and 2020 have changed. Globalization has slowed down. We are no longer looking to create a global dynamic, but rather to create the strategic alliances with the partners and with the actors that will allow for the interest of the nation or the interest of the region to actually come to an end. For that, we create a strategic competition. We no longer talk about, well, some actors may, some people may, but the debate is not on who is doing it best or who is doing more, but rather who is doing it strategically, who is having a long-term perspective, and who has an understanding of what it's going to happen next. And that leads to a very important skill in today's in today's reality, which is adaptability and which is projection. But we'll talk about that later. We live in an economy, a global economy. Everything is connected, is interconnected, and we cannot understand, for example, Southeast Asia without understanding Africa. And we cannot understand Africa without understanding Europe or Latin America. Everything is interconnected because we have a global economy. But that global economy is now starting to show its limitations. The supply chains are becoming political. Now, if there is a disruption in the supply chain, if we cannot access a certain material, if we cannot access a certain good, we see how the global economy comes to a stop point, and we need to develop the contingency plans. We need to develop the strategies to be able to be resilient. And ultimately, for many years and in many regions and many actors have forgotten about the importance of sustainability. And sustainability, not talking just about, yes, we need to think of the environment, but understanding that business relations, economic growth, and political decisions are inherently connected to the environment. The environment meaning society, meaning the actual environment, meaning the relations in between the different actors that make the economic and political activity happen a reality. Please, next slide. So to understand this change, we need to frame it in three different fields: economic, political, and technological. Economic, we went through years of growth. We just want to grow our businesses. We want to grow our economy. We need to be efficient. We need to lower cost and increase profit. That is no longer acceptable, or it's no longer that efficient, as a way to put it, because now what we need to do is to create businesses and create economies that are ready to adapt, that are ready to overcome the setbacks, the obstacles that we are going to encounter, because the reality nowadays is uncertain. For that reason, when it comes to the political transition that we are experiencing worldwide, we are also seeing how we are starting to create partnerships with random actors. Suddenly, in Zimbabwe or in Ethiopia, the biggest partner is China. It's no longer Europe. It's no longer the US. We get to see how, for example, Egypt, which is in North Africa, now the biggest partner is the United States, and we see how, for example, Chile in Latin America, the biggest partner is China again. What is happening? We are creating a new world order that relies on mutual interest and that relies on creating the right connections in between nations and in between societies for cooperation to happen. And then the technological change cannot be understood without the economic and political change. Why? Because nowadays, a strong economy, a strong nation depends on the technology. So the technology is essential for building strong businesses and for building strong nations. So how is this technological aspect so important? Well, the countries that are right now investing in AI, those that are creating the data centers for AI to be stored, to be created, are the countries that will have the power to provide that AI to other nations, to businesses. So now the real question is, are we preparing for that reality? How are we investing, not only at an individual personal level, learning how to use ChatGPT, learning how to use the AI tools, but how are we going to regulate AI? How are we going to create the institutions? And how are we going to create the policies that will allow us to administrate and to manage this change in AI? Because it is no longer something of the future, it is the present. And we need to be in control of it so we get to boost our goals as much as possible. Please, next slide. Now, what is happening in Europe? European leaders are starting to realize that the model has changed, that we can no longer continue to do what we were doing, and that the Western values upon which we had built moral superiority are no longer as superior or never were that superior. We're understanding that cooperation means inviting, accepting, and celebrating all cultures, all regions, and that we need to foster cooperation and connection in between different actors and different regions. We have a divide. There are two main voices here in Europe. There is Ursula von der Leyen, who is the director of the European Commission, who wants to maintain the system the way that it is, with regulation, with laws, with policies, with a lot of security and with a lot of safety. But that is putting a brake. That is limiting how much Europe can do. Because Mario Draghi, the director of the Central Bank of Europe, says that we need to deregularize, meaning making it easier for European companies to partner and to invest with other nations and with other businesses and with other companies that we were not considering before. That way, we could really foster that cooperation. This slide, mostly what it's talking about is how can we go from dependence to self-reliance, and what are the sectors that we need to really consider. And when I say consider, it's not only at the personal or government level, but also at the educational one, because we at university, or as members of university, whether we are lecturers, whether we are professors, or whether we are students, we are advancing knowledge. We need to be one step ahead so we can educate and we can further contribute to what is coming next. We have that responsibility. So it's very important that we have an understanding on how to create autonomy for energy, for the technology, for payments, for defense, and for supply chain. That way we will be self-reliant and we will be able to generate for ourselves what we want to generate for ourselves. Please, next slide. Now, how does Europe and the Asian community relate? We have massive differences. Our system, our processes are different, but that doesn't mean that we cannot collaborate, that we cannot cooperate. We need to understand these differences as complementary. We need to understand these differences as an opportunity to get the best of each and make it work in a way that it creates a circular economy. In Europe, we have a strong emphasis on legislation, on technology, on standards for quality, but we don't have agility. We don't have the capacity or the capabilities to create fast enough or to adapt fast enough. And this is something that Indonesia, that Vietnam, that Thailand, that South Korea, that China is doing very well. They are developing their economies very fast in a way that adapts to the needs of the country and adapts to the needs of the region. The digital growth is unprecedented and the regional integration is happening at an incredible scale. How can we benefit from that? Well, we can create this circular economy that connects the world and that allow us to get the best from different regions in a way that it's complementary and that is dynamic. Please, next slide. So, as I was saying, we need to understand the responsibility of these changes, economic, political, and technological, from three different angles: the government, the businesses, and the universities. The government will set the direction, the strategic vision, the policies, what you can do and what you cannot do. But now the business are actually the engine of any nation, of any country, because those are the ones creating value, creating profit, creating the money, and creating the opportunities for the nation to grow. So how do we include the university? We are bringing research, we are bringing talent, we are bringing collaboration. We are a hub, a platform in which ideas can connect. And not only at the national level, but just like with this seminar, we are connected at an international level. We are exchanging ideas, and that is something, it's a conversation that does not happen that often in between government or businesses. So we have that responsibility, and we can influence future businesses, future government leaders, and current ones, because we have a voice that is specialized and that it's well informed and that it's so valuable. Next slide. So realistically and practically, what can we do? Well, I encourage everyone here to choose to cooperate, to bring dialogue, to participate in conversations. Do not forget that we have a responsibility to be sustainable, to be ethical, and to act with integrity when it comes to business decisions and when it comes to economic decisions. To choose inclusion, because in diversity we find value and we bring richness of ideas, of experiences, of different ways to look at life and at ideologies, and to choose a future that we want to build. Because many times the media, social media, can create a very negative image, but we can create the image that we want, and that starts with having an optimistic view and an optimistic thought of what the future is ahead. So a shared future starts with shared choices, and conversations like this and spaces like the one created today are the reason why I believe that global change can happen and can happen on a positive note. Thank you so much. If anyone has any question, I'll be super happy to answer.
Okay, thank you, Mr. J. Nice presentation. I can I call Pak J ya? Based on
Jay, yeah.
Indonesian style. Okay. Mas J or Pak J ya. Okay, Pak J, I think sustainable global economic growth in today increasingly complex geopolitical environment requires a stronger international cooperation, resilient supply chains, and a shared commitment And please join me in giving them a warm virtual round of applause. Now, we will proceed to the question and answer session, which has been allocated at least 20 minutes. Yeah. A participant who wishes to ask question are kindly to requested to use the raise hand feature or type their question in the Zoom chat maybe. And before asking your question, please introduce yourself by mentioning your name and also institution, and kindly indicate which speaker your question is addressed to. And then to ensure that everyone has an equal opportunity to participate, and we kindly ask its participant to ask one concise question only. Yeah, one concise question. And we invite our speaker to provide concise response, and then so that we can accommodate, yeah, as many questions as possible within the allocated time. Okay, the first question. Ada pertanyaan yang maybe from my student ya, Pak J ya, Bu Din.
In room chat, Pak Indro.
In room chat. Okay, let me check first ya. In room check. For speaker 3, Dr. Din Mardiah.
Yes.
My question in slide 14 or 15, and practical experience. What strategies should universities prioritize to ensure this factor translate into sustainable startup creation and long-term entrepreneurial success rather than merely increasing student entrepreneurial intention? And also for all speaker, thank you your presentation. How do you see the current condition of the Indonesian economy? Thank you. Silakan Bu Din, nanti ada lagi yang kedua ini.
Good question. Siapa ya Pak namanya nih?
Namanya
Rama.
Rama ya.
Yeah. Thank you, Rama. As you see on the slide, I already showed in slide 17 what can we do related with the problem related to support still have to support the business of alumni. And in the slide, the last slide, I can see the alumni agenda. They also can strengthen business incubator mentorship. As a student previously, the student as the participant, and after they graduate, not just they involved in the connecting in the incubator, business incubator, they also can help as the mentoring, to share the experience to the student. Itu Pak, itu dulu.
Oke, thank you. Saya berikan kesempatan untuk Pak Dr. Nirwanto UMG. Silakan Pak Dr. Nirwanto, ditujukan ke siapa? Halo Pak Dr. Nirwanto. You need a question orally, can? Silakan Pak Dokter. Oke, kalau Pak Halo Pak Dr. Nirwanto, Pak Nir. Silakan Pak Nir menyampaikan pertanyaan. Deliver your question, Pak.
Pak Indro itu Pak Nir mau tanya Pak Indro.
Ya ini sudah Pak Nir. Silakan Pak Nir. Orally kan Pak.
Oke, Mr. Nirwanto.
Trouble with my audio. So I would like to ask Mr. J for questions. Okay. Firstly, I would like to say thank you very much for the valuable, insightful presentations. And I think it's very interesting topic that you are just presented. As we know that in today changing of geopolitical and economic environment, business need to be becomes what we call resilience, yeah, and adaptive. And also, since AI is increasingly used to improve employee performance and organization productivity, here I would like to ask a question in the context of geopolitical changes. Could you please give us a little bit your perspective regarding how can AI-driven employee performance improvement
Well, with AI, we need to understand that it is an ongoing change and that it's going to continue changing. So with AI, there are other skills that have to be developed. These skills have to be or have been identified to be leadership and adaptability. We need to be able to adapt. And to be able to adapt, we need to be able to anticipate what is going to happen next. How do we know what is going to happen next? We don't know. So we need to be prepared. And how are we prepared? We need to jump on that wave of transformative change.
Yeah.
For that, we need, I would say that when it comes to the practicality of how to implement AI changes that are actually beneficial for businesses and that are sustainable and ethical, we need to identify the critical roles of an organization, and we need to support their training. We need to support their understanding of how to use AI. It will look different for every company, depending on the sector, depending on the industry, but we need to see AI not as a technology that will take away a job, but rather a technology that will amplify that job. It will be the human mind, the one behind the technology. It will be the person that will be prompting the AI. So what we need to do is to make people AI literate, provide them with training, provide them with support, and to encourage that change so people is not resistant to change, because that's the biggest enemy of AI. And we need to think of integration rather than replacement of people. So how do we integrate the human side with the AI side, and how do we empower that people that has the AI knowledge that will transform the business?
Okay, thank you, Pak J. There's one phrase that I would like to underline from your explanation, that integration, the AI can integrate. We can integrate AI into our job or our activities, not to replacement. But in fact, there are so many kind of job that people get lost her job, like that replacement by AI. For example, translator. Nobody can would like to ask anymore to person who has a job of translating language into their original language. They're just asking, they're just typing on AI to introduce any kind of language. So it's very interesting that you say putting integration, yes, not replacement, but in another point of another cases, their replacement happen, because of AI. What do you think about that?
I think it's very easy to take one of the few examples that are really affected and to make a big fuss about it. When the internet was implemented at the domestic level and at the business level, which was not so long ago, it was 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, many people thought that they were going to lose their job because we increased efficiency and we increased automation. However, not that many, some people lost their job, but not that many. What happens is that when there is a new technology that is introduced in the market, there is a period of momentary readaptation. The market, some positions will become obsolete, will not be as useful as they were before, but that people will be acquiring different skills that will make them competitive. And the market will create new opportunities and new jobs that will absorb that people that are losing their job to the AI. When it comes to translation, that's one of those fields that are going to be affected the most because instant translation is a reality. But we also had Google Translator 15 years ago, and we still trust a human with an expertise in translation more than we will trust an engine. And we will need that human to verify that the translation is correct, because AI will fail to identify certain nuances that humans do. So it's a bit of both.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, Pak
thank you,
Nir.
Mr. Yu, for
Saya mesti
insightful
bagi ke banyak ini ya.
explanation.
So, okay. The next question from Frankie Aryadi from Muhammadiyah Tangerang University, addressed to Ms. Nilufar. The questions: how can companies sustain a lasting competitive advantage while technology, knowledge, and intelligence ultimately become accessible to almost everyone through artificial intelligence? Okay, please answer this question, Ms. Nilufar.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Okay, I will.
Okay.
How can companies sustain a lasting competitive advantage with technology, knowledge, and intelligence ultimately become accessible to almost everyone through artificial intelligence?
Okay, how can companies sustain a lasting competitive advantage when technology, knowledge, and intelligence ultimately become accessible to almost everyone through artificial intelligence? While AI makes technology and knowledge more accessible, sustainable competitive advantage will increasingly depend on factors that AI alone cannot replicate, right? This includes human creativity, strategic leadership, organizational culture, customer trust, and the ability to innovate. Companies that combine AI with skilled employees, ethical decision making, and a strong customer focus will be a better position to maintain long term competitiveness. In other words, AI should be viewed as a tool that enhances human capabilities rather than replaces them. So the businesses that adapt quickly, invest in continuous learning, and create unique value for customers will be the ones that sustain their competitive advantages, right? In conclusion, I can say that in the AI era, competitive advantage will come not only from having access to it, but from using it more effectively, responsibly, and creatively than competitors. Thank you for your questions. Hope it will be understandable for you.
Okay,
Right?
thank you.
Thank you.
No, yes, question for Dr. Tri Basuki. So I received in my mobile phone, Pak Tri, ya. Okay, the all maturity model range from level 1, no AI, to level 5, all native. Considering the current macroeconomics conditions, what are the most effective strategies for micro, small, and medium enterprise in developing countries to leapfrog from the AI-assisted level to full AI integration, given their limited capital and digital infrastructure? Silakan Pak Tri.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Indra. I think it's based on my experience in industry in Malaysia. We start with solving the small problem, how to automate the repetitive tasks using the AI, like using AI tools, AI agents, and some of automation tools, integration with Microsoft applications. This is the quite enough for small business for starting learning about the AI and try to implement that AI into the real business problem in their faces daily. After they more familiar with the AI tools and AI agents and how the AI work to improve that the effectiveness and the of the process in their business can be involved the AI and the automation by AI. Like right now for the creative create the small generate the content or the person is in create the content creator, they can be use some of AI tools for creating videos, creating the product to use to propose to demonstrate that the AI can be used effectively in this small business area.
Saya
Thank you.
dari Sarjan S1 Hukum Universitas
Oke.
Sumatera. Pertanyaan saya adalah, apakah seluruh rekomendasi atau isi dalam
Oke. Thank you, Pak. So, next question addressed to Pak J. Okay, Pak J. This is the last question. In the face of security crisis, climate change, and the risk for future technologies like AI, how can the collaboration model between government, business, and universities be practically implemented at the local level to ensure it becomes a reality rather than just a concept on paper? Please, Pak J, answer this question.
I think the concept on paper was not really what I meant. I didn't propose a model. I rather explained that collaboration should happen at 3 different levels for the government, businesses, and education to profit from the strengths of each different angle. So it's in the practical side of things, I think that a conversation, a dialogue, and an exchange of ideas will always benefit these different institutions because they all have different lenses, they all have different
Hello, Pak J.
Sorry, sir. Maybe Mr. J have some technical
Maybe,
problems.
yeah, Oke. Sementara Pak J kita anu dulu ya, kita stop sebentar. Ini ada satu pertanyaan lagi. Sofa. Halo. Oke, Pak J.
I'm back.
Please continue. Yeah.
Yes, sorry about that. My battery ran out. And yes, I feel like participation and collaboration when it comes to tackling different issues will provide different perspectives. And it is in this diversity of perspectives that best practice can actually happen. So a multi-directional, encompassed approach to tackling complexities will for sure make it will for sure not making the mistakes that many times profit-driven institutions, politically charged institutions, or merely research institutions commit. So it is combining that practicality that comes with the different understanding of society from different angles.
Okay. Thank you, Pak J. So,
My pleasure.
next question addressed to Ms. Asisova. The question is, while AI adoption on one hand creates new jobs, on the other hand, it leads to the automation of routine tasks, structural unemployment, and a scale mismatch given the rapid pace of AI penetration across various industrial sectors today. What concrete step must the global education sector immediately to take address this skill gap on a massive scale?
Thank you
Clear?
for the questions. I hope.
No, I received from my mobile phone.
Yes.
Yeah. So
You are
I
receiving
repeat,
the question
okay.
from your mobile
Okay, I
phone.
repeat again. Yeah. While AI adoption on one hand creates new jobs, on the other hand, it leads to the automation of routine tasks, structural unemployment, and a scale mismatch given the rapid pace of AI penetration across various industrial sectors today. What concrete step must the global education sector immediately to take address this skill gap on a massive scale?
Uh,
on one hand creates new jobs. On the other hand, it leads to the automation of routine tasks, structural unemployment, and a scale mismatch. Given the rapid pace of AI penetration across various industrial sectors today, what concrete step must the global education sector immediately take to address this skill gap on a massive scale?
Okay, thank you for your valuable question. Although AI is making technology, knowledge, and intelligence more accessible, it doesn't eliminate competitive advantage, right? Instead, it changes its source. For example, companies can sustain a lasting competitive advantage by combining AI with unique human capabilities such as creativity, innovation, strategic thinking, and ethical leadership and strong customer relationships also. They should also invest in continuous learning, employee development, and organizational adaptability. Companies process high quality data, which build trusted brands. So everything is okay here? Could you hear me?
Yes, okay.
It's okay.
Okay, thanks.
So companies that process high quality proprietary data, build trusted brands, and respond quickly to changing customer needs will remain ahead of their competitors.
Okay, enough. Okay, thank you. So now there is question directly. Tabita Kawarsmita. Silakan.
Okay, thank you.
Iya, langsung ke
thank you,
siapa?
Mr.
Ke
Mr. J.
Pak J.
Mr. J.
Oh, ke Pak J. Oke.
Okay, so thank you for your insight that you share today. I am so interested when you talk about European and ASEAN are collaborating. It represents a shift from nearshoring for European to friendshoring. That actually to reduce soil dependence. I think it is crucial, yes, for the resilience. But it means that concept of trusted partners is more exclusive because of risk of creating politic blocks that could isolate developing countries. So how can developing countries who want to remain neutral that survive and participate fairly in a global supply chain that's increasingly fragmented by political trust rather than economic capability?
Thank you for the question. Definitely a complex one with different angles to tackle it. Did you mean how, when you said how can nations create authentic partnerships when trust is fragmented, did you mean how can government officials, how can political leaders, or how can societies or business create these authentic connections?
Yeah, government and societies, because we know that in the developing countries, the dominancy is government that has a role for this collaboration.
Well, I can talk. It depends on the region. It depends on the nation. It depends on the people in power at a specific time that these ties, these relations will change. I can talk region by region, but that would be a whole other seminar. And I can say that, however, now when we cannot ignore the imbalance historically, as you were saying, in between Western nations and Southeast Asian nations, and the colonial history and legacy that is still present. However, I do see that there is now a wave and a rearrangement of understanding how can we tackle these relations in a way that is respectful and that it's ethical, because we have come to understand and we have come to learn from our historical errors. And now I think that we approach these connections from a place of cultural intelligence, which is understanding the realities of the place rather than imposing the realities of our place. So there is it's a change that is happening, that is taking place right now, and that hopefully we all can contribute towards, because at the end of the day, relations in between regions should always be at the horizontal level.
Okay, thank you
Okay,
for
thank
your
you.
explanation.
Thank you, Bu.
Yeah,
Ladies and
Kak.
gentlemen, I think I just say thank you for all questions. And now I give you the closing remarks and conclusion. Ladies and gentlemen, as we come to the end of today's international seminar, allow me to briefly summarize some of the important points that have emerged from our distinguished speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, today's discussion have highlighted that sustainable global economic growth cannot be achieved by economic policies alone. Of course, it requires international cooperation. We need mutual understanding. We need technological innovation, quality education, and also strong institutional governance. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, our speaker have provided valuable insight from different perspectives and countries, demonstrating that despite geopolitical differences, collaboration remains the key to addressing global challenges and creating shared prosperity. And then this seminar has also reminded us that universities play a vital role in producing knowledge, encouraging innovation, and building international partnership that contribute to sustainable development. We sincerely hope that today's discussion will not end here, but will inspire further research collaboration and academic exchanges and practical initiative among institutions across the globe. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Faculty of Economic and Business, Universitas Muhammadiyah Gresik, I would like to express our deepest appreciation to all distinguished speakers for sharing their expertise and also valuable experience. Our heartfelt thanks also go to the Rector of Universitas Muhammadiyah Gresik and also my Dean, Pak Dr. Sukaris, our partner universities, and also the organizing committee and all participants who have actively contributed to success of this seminar. It has been a great honor for me to serve as your moderator today. We hope to meet you again in the future international academic events. Thank you very much. for your participation and also for your participation, and also stay healthy, stay inspired, and keep building global collaboration. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good afternoon. So, Ocha, saya kembalikan kepada Anda.
Okay, thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now reached the end of today's international seminar. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to our keynote speakers, moderator, distinguished guests, and all participants for your valuable presence and active participation. We sincerely hope that today's seminar has provided meaningful insight and strengthened international academic collaboration. Thank you once again for joining us. Before we conclude, we would like to invite all participants to kindly turn on your cameras for our virtual group photo session. Please smile and look at your camera on 3. 3, 2, 1. Next page, please. Next page. 3, 2, 1.
Ada deh. Masuk.
Next page. Okay, please hold on. Next page. Okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, before leaving today's meeting, please remember to complete the attendance form. The attendance link will be shared shortly in the Zoom chat by our organizing committee. We kindly ask everyone to complete the form before leave the meeting. For participants from external institutions who attended today's international seminar, your electronic certificate will be processed in the next 5 days. So, please fill the data correctly. Please monitor your registered email address and our official communication channels for further information. Thank you.
Thank you.
Finally, I'm Rosalina Novianti Savitri, as your Master of Ceremony, would like to thank you for your participation. Have a wonderful day, stay healthy, and we look forward to welcoming you again at our future academic events. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon and thank you.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Prof. J.
Waalaikumsalam. Thanks so much.
Terima kasih
Bye-bye.
semuanya, Pak Dekan.
Mr. J.
Thank you, Mr. J. Thank you.
Silakan.
Bye. Thank you. A
Yeah,
pleasure.
sama-sama.
Terima kasih semua.
Ya, Budin, terima kasih.
Pak Indro, makasih juga, Pak Karis.
Sampai-sampai sehat-sehat ya, Bu. Salam keluarga, Budin.
Amin. Siap.
Sudah, Pak Dekan. Terima kasih
Siap.
banyak.
Terima kasih, Pak Indro. Thank you.
Sama-sama dengan bahasa Inggris yang gradul sak isone. Oke, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, Pak Dekan.
Waalaikumsalam.